Hey, this is Doug with Workforce Gaming. This Pax East 2024 interview is part of a larger series where I spoke with developers, producers, level designers, motion capture artists, and programmers about the games they are presenting. Today's interview is with the level designers of a game that mixes the stylish action of Devil May Cry with the equally stylish skateboard action of the Tony Hawk series. We discuss what it's like building levels for a game where pulling off tricks and combat combos have equal footing. I'm excited to present to you our interview with two of the level designers for Helskate.
All right, here I am Doug at Workforce Gaming, and I'm here with Josh and Jasper for Helskate. So if you guys quickly introduce what you guys do on the game.
Yeah, my name is Joshua Sutton, and I do level design for Helskate.
Yeah, and I'm Jasper. De Bruin is a weird Dutch name. I do level design for Helskate as well. We flew in here, and we're having a great time.
Nice. So I've been walking around seeing a lot of games. This one really caught my eye. Big fan of Tony Hawk. But I was also a believer that Tony Hawk's kind of is a stylish action game, whether or not people want to believe that. And it seems like you guys, you saw the Devil May Cry influence and kind of got that in there. So I guess as far as kind of the beginning of the project, did it come from a love of skateboarding or a love of Tony Hawk games? Do you guys know?
You want to do this one? Okay.
Yeah. I think I can confidently say that this came from a love of skateboarding games.
Sure.
Our director has worked on Tony Hawk Underground, and he just seeing that game being in development and seeing how you can get stat points, encounter NPCs, and create stories with the NPCs made him think of this, right? There's so many more aspects to that game than just skating.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, you can totally make a roguelike game out of this. And he did.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting because I feel like some of the Tony Hawk's kind of, it has to be set in the real world, but that's a cool gameplay mechanic that you guys can set anywhere. And when I think of some of my favorite levels from Tony Hawk Underground and the other games, it's those weirdo levels didn't really make sense for the real world. I think wasn't Tony Hawk Underground, they had a hell level or something like that?
Yeah, hotter than hell, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of cool to see you guys kind of dive into that. So who is this main character? Because he's a cool guy with an angel wing and looks like a demon and that sort of stuff. So yeah, what's the kind of the high level concept of this game?
Okay, so the guy's name, his name is Anton Falcon.
That's a very cool video game name. I love it.
And the whole story with him is he was a professional skateboarder,
sure.
Living in LA, and he dies.
Okay.
And now he's in this weird purgatory, pseudo Los Angeles skateboard chaos realm.
Yeah.
And not to give away too much of the story,
Sure.
there's a lot of story involved, but he's just ultimately trying to figure out what's going on, who's pulling the strings, who's controlling everything, what are all these crazy people doing.
Sure.
And there's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
So, I mean, it seems like there's two aspects I'm kind of trying to understand as I'm watching it. So, it's got the Tony Hawk kind of gameplay, but on top of that, you guys also have combat. So, is the goal to get the highest trick score, or is the goal to fight the enemies, or kind of what's your goal within each level?
So primarily it's to defeat the enemies.
Yeah.
But the way we have it set up is there's a lot of buffs you can get that are tied to your tricks.
Oh, cool.
So for example, we have you do a kickflip and you shoot a missile. Or
Yes.
you shoot a chain out that homes in on an enemy and you can grind the chain to get right to them and it's double up on it.
Sure, yeah.
And there's a bunch of stuff like that. So you can really build it to go either way.
Yeah.
So if you come from a Tony Hawk background,
Sure.
and you get really good big on comboing, you can build it so you can have 10, 12 different tricks that are all doing something crazy.
Yeah.
So you're just constantly throwing stuff out. Or you can go the other way and just get general buffs where you can just go in more like a hack and slash style thing.
Oh, fun.
And just really tank it all and just more traditional roguelike style gameplay.
So we were talking a little bit earlier, and you came from I know you guys are both level designers, and I know you came from the Tony Hawk modding scene, Josh, and then Jasper, where did you come from as far as?
So I studied game development,
okay,
and
sure.
I just happened to be close to the crew in their office at some point, and I stepped in. I was very interested in the project, talked a lot with them, and I just hopped on board, and I'm super excited about the project.
Nice. So Josh, quick question for coming from the mod scene, because you're more familiar with Tony Hawk level design.
Yeah.
What's the difference between designing a Tony Hawk level as versus a Helskate level? As a level designer, what are you thinking?
Well, the big difference is obviously the combat.
Sure.
Right? So with Tony Hawk levels, I'm always thinking about how long can I make a line, how can I transfer between different lines. I want to make it so someone can do a 50 million point combo and not have to worry to not stress too much about it. You're not going to run into any walls or any weird spots.
Sure.
It's
like a flow sort of thing.
Exactly. Very flow centric, so to speak.
Yeah.
With Hellskate, there's still a lot of that too, but with the combat, you also have to think about how does this work as like a combat arena type of thing.
Interesting.
And so it's like a bit of a balancing act. So it's a really complicated thing. It presents a lot of challenges.
I was thinking about it because it seems like combat would kind of inherently interrupt flow. But you want to make sure that combat flows nicely with the combo you're doing.
Exactly, right? And it's a big challenge to design for that. But we've been at it for a while now, and I think we're getting really dang close to that middle ground, that sweet spot. So.
What's kind of like your high level? What's kind of like your favorite aspect of doing the level design? Like when you're building a level, what's the thing like you want to make sure that you put your stamp on it as a level creator, Josh versus Jasper as a level creator?
Well, with mine, me coming from like a Tony Hawk background, I always got to make sure I can do those combos still.
Sure.
Like I try to make room for the combat. Obviously, I want the combat to feel good, but I also want to be able to sit back and just go around and get 10 million points.
Sure.
That's very satisfying to me.
Yeah.
So if I can do that and destroy enemies all at the same time, that makes me feel great.
Okay. And Jasper, what's kind of your thought on level design?
First off, I can definitely confirm Josh loves his loops, and it feels great.
Sure.
So what I really love doing in levels is making lines that feel like you're doing something super sick, right?
Okay,
so you're grinding through some maw, or you're grinding under a building and going through a window. So singular lines that just feel like you're doing some sick shit. I love that.
No, that's cool because I think it's interesting because with Tony Hawk stuff, getting the big line is cool, but also busting through a window. Like I think in Tony Hawk 1, where they have that sort of like hanging glass thing. I remember playing the demo as a kid, and like once you go through it and get the line, like it's that balance of doing both. The sick combo you get as reward for doing it, but also just crashing through shit is really fun.
Yes, and I think
that's a lot of different things you guys are trying to balance. Though it sounds like a lot of fun. So real quick, so you guys are kind of in early access now. So is this something I can buy in early access, or how does that work?
Yeah, you can buy it right now in early access. We released into early access this February.
Okay.
And we're planning to have a 1.0 in about 12 months. So Q2 2025, something like that.
Gotcha.
It's $25 on Steam right now.
Nice.
Look out for a sale. We're planning to do an update and a sale tomorrow, actually.
Oh, fun. Okay, cool. All right. Thanks. I really appreciate it. I will definitely check this game out. Looks awesome. So thank you for your time, both of you guys.
Thank you, too.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.